You're tuned into the first newscast devoted to the Highland Lakes area. Local team coverage on Tribune Headline News, bringing you the stories you care about now. Hi everyone, I'm Connie Swinney. You're watching us on Northland Channel 15. In your headlines today, we have the latest on a potential funding debate over meth lab cleanup and how it could cost local taxpayers in the future. And it's election time. Early voting starts next week. We have times and locations.
Here in Marble Falls, I've been here tonight. We'll raise our voices up and sing with strength.
Also, we bring you the melodious sounds of these crooners. They're performing with the Marble Falls High School Chorale, not only to entertain, but to raise money for a good cause.
Much needed rain heading our way this weekend, up later in our weather.
Thanks, Deanna. See you in a moment. The forecast and local sports coming up. This is Tribune Headline News. Stay with us.
As our school and city elections draw closer, it's important to know who's shaping the discussion for these critical issues in our area. The Picayune candidate forums can be found on thepicayunetv.com and also Northland Communications Channel 15.
Welcome back. We're not even halfway through the year and federal funding has dried up for local narcotics agencies when it comes to meth lab cleanup. Burnett County officials say the Drug Enforcement Agency can offer no more money towards removal of toxic components used to make these labs. Investigators say it cost about $4,000 per meth lab. Local agencies secured cleanup funding through a program called Community-Oriented Police Services, or COPS, through the Department of Justice. So far, the county has busted as many as 5 labs this year. At this rate, the price tag could amount to $20,000 by year's end. Burnett County Sheriff W.T. Smith said, "You're looking at something that could potentially impact us aggressively pursuing meth labs. If we all of a sudden had a spike in labs, it could get expensive." Sheriff's officials believe they will not likely be able to secure more funding on the local level due to a shrinking county budget. The May election is right around the corner. However, voters have a chance to cast their ballots starting Monday. Early voting for school and city elections is May 2nd through the 10th. For those of you in Burnett County, you may be interested in hours and locations. During that 2nd through the 10th time period, you can go from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And on Thursday, May 5th and Monday, May 9th, you can go from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the main courthouse square in Burnett and the Burnett County Annex in Marble Falls. You can check out the website on your screen for more information about early voting. Coming up, hot and windy. Your forecast next.
The playoffs are just around the corner. We're going to preview what's going on the diamonds coming up in sports.
Vera's Strength and Fitness. Fitness programs that are fun and exciting with true performance and true results. Vera's Strength and Fitness, 708 Industrial Boulevard, Suite 101 in Marble Falls. We're back. Here's Deanna Nail with weather.
Hey everyone, I'm Deanna Nail, back with your PicayuneTV.com weather forecast here on Northland Cable Channel 15. Well, it looks like Saturday evening we'll have a 20 to 30% chance of showers starting and continuing on through the weekend. Let's take a look. And to start our end of work week off, we've got mostly sunny skies with highs near 88 on our Friday. South winds between 5 and 10 miles an hour. However, watch out, those wind gusts could get up to as high as 30 miles per hour. Into our Friday evening, increasing clouds with lows around 67. Those south winds around 15 miles an hour, but gusts continuing up to 25 miles per hour. Into our Saturday, we'll start off with partly sunny skies, highs reaching near 90 degrees, but into Saturday evening is when our 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms arrive, a little bit after 1 a.m. Mostly cloudy skies with lows around 71 and those wind gusts staying between 10 and 15 miles an hour. And we'll start our Sunday off with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies with highs near 83. And into our Sunday evening to wrap up our weekend, a chance of showers lingers about 10%, mostly cloudy skies with lows around 54, and those wind gusts reaching as high as 25 miles per hour. Looks like that possible rain over the weekend could bring us cooler temperatures on Monday, where we'll see sunny skies with highs reaching only near 73 degrees. Connie, back to you.
Jennifer Fierro joins us with sports.
The regular season for one sport is ending. while the playoffs are already starting for another sport. We're going to pick it up with the softball teams at Burnett and Marble Falls High Schools simply because both teams are in the playoffs that begin Friday night. The Lady Mustangs will host Austin Crockett at Scarce Softball Field in a one-game winner-take-all contest. That will be extremely important because if the Lady Mustangs can win here, then they'll move on to the second round. Meanwhile, the Lady Dogs will be playing a best-of-3 series against Wimberley. Those games are at a neutral site beginning at 7 o'clock on Friday night. Then, of course, the Game 2 will be played 10 a.m. on Saturday, and then if a Game 3 is needed, that will follow 30 minutes at the conclusion of Game 2. We did mention that one sport is wrapping up, and that is baseball. The Bulldogs are still in the hunt for a championship in District 25 3A, while the Mustangs are going to be wrapping up their season against Vandergrift 7 o'clock at Scarce Baseball Field. That's it for sports. I'm Jennifer Fierro. Connie, back to you.
Jennifer, thanks. Youngsters from Marble Falls collaborate with the barbershop group to make music and raise money for charity. A concert on Friday, May 6th, will feature the Hill Country Blenders and the Marble Falls High School Chorale. Folk songs of the frontier will include cowboy, gospel, and patriotic music. Other performers joining in on the act are the Kingsland Trio, Premium Blend, and Ostentatious. This is the second year for the concert. Last year, 900 people attended. Now, since they formed nearly a decade ago, the Hill Country Blenders have raised about $20,000 to benefit the community. This year's performance will go to the Boys and Girls Club of the Highland Lakes, A Place of Hope, CASA, and Older Adult Rural Services. The show starts at 7 p.m. at Marble Falls High School Auditorium. Tickets are $10 for adults and $5 for students. Check out the number on your screen for a ticket and more information. Those were your headlines. Stay tuned. Coming up next, our latest candidates forum for those running for Burnett City Council. For the Picayune TV, I'm Connie Swinney.
Hi, and welcome to Tribune Talk with Thomas Edwards, Special Candidates Edition. Today we're in beautiful downtown Burnett at the Hill Country Community Foundation building. We're going to be taking a look at the Burnett City Council races, putting the hard questions to the candidates. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to Tribune Talk with Thomas Edwards, Special Candidates Edition. Today we're taking a look at the Burnett City Council race. The field is a very crowded one. Although the mayor's race is unopposed, there are up to 9 candidates running for City Council. Today we're lucky to have 2 of those candidates be here with us on the show, Michelle Devaney and Carl Peel. Welcome to the show. Thank you.
Nice to be here.
We're going to toss a couple questions to them and see how they do. And then, of course, there'll be what we like to call the wild card question. Ms. Devaney, the first question is for you. What are the infrastructure weaknesses in Burnett, and what can be done about those?
Well, that's a good question. The biggest weaknesses in the city's infrastructure is the sewer treatment plant. Our current plant is old and running at full capacity with no room for growth. Plus, TCEQ requires that we fix it. The question was to update or replace it, and it was found to be more economical to replace it. If elected to City Council, then I will use my business accounting experience to make sure this much-needed improvement will not become a burden financially to the citizens of Burnett. Also, Burnett's population has grown by more than 20% in the last 10 years and is expected to continue to grow. An increase in population goes hand in hand with a needed increase in public safety services that include more employees, equipment, and a larger facility. They are necessary in order to maintain and promote a superior quality of life in the city of Burnett to all citizens and our future citizens.
Thank you very much, Ms. Devaney, for that answer. And now, Mr. Peel, I toss a question to you, sir.
Thank you. It's always tough to go second. Of course, I'd rather talk about those infrastructure things that really make Burnett a great place to live, but we're going to talk about the negatives. And she's exactly right. The waste treatment plant is number one. It's a $22 million expense. So we've got to find some creative ways to finance that to minimize the impact on our citizens. I'm also going to talk about the Galloway-Hammond Recreation Center. Because it's city-owned, it's also part of our infrastructure. But it's also a part of our infrastructure that requires $500,000 a year to keep the doors open. So we have to find new ways to fund that so that we can spend that $500,000 some other way. So there's two right there that we need a lot of work on.
Good. Well, thank you very much for that response. And now we'll move on to our second question. What is the best way to bring more industry and business to Burnet? And Ms. Devaney, again, we'll give you the first crack at that question.
All right, thank you very much. I believe that new businesses can be attracted with incentives such as grants, loans, the donation of in-kind city services, job tax credits per job created, and sales tax rebates. Attracting these new businesses will benefit the city by stimulating our local economy, which includes an increase in the city's tax base and the creation of additional jobs. A great example of some of these incentives working is ATMI and Stealth Industries. Our new sewer plant, other improvement projects and systems are needed to help prepare Burnet to handle these additional businesses. Then the city should actually help expedite the process that they must undergo to open a new business in Burnet. When companies look around for a place to locate, they look to see what Burnet has to offer in comparison with what other cities have. Burnet has to have a good incentive plan. As a current business owner-operator in the city, I feel I have the experience to be a great asset to the community in this area.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Devaney. And again, Mr. Peel, the question to you, what can be done to bring more business and industry to Burnet?
This one I could spend 30 minutes to an hour on, but I only have a minute here. So basically, my main purpose will be to redirect the Economic Development Corporation of Burnet, which in the last 5 years has spent over $2.5 million on projects that really have not had any impact on the economic development. $600,000 to the remanufacture of the square. In 2009, they committed $500,000 to increase the turn lane, put a turn lane between Delaware Springs and Park Road 4, which there's not a retail business in that whole stretch of road. They also committed $500,000 to the new Hayes Nelson Park, which the park was already funded, but they decided that they needed to curb and pave all the roads down there to the cost of $322,000. And they also committed another $150,000 to an amphitheater. And most recently, the City Council and EDC did a little fun game and had the EDC buy a piece of property that the city already owned to build a fire department on. I don't understand that transaction. So I want to refocus EDC, economic development, to doing economic development projects.
I see. Thank you very much for that response. And now we get to what we like to call the wild card question. This is a question that the candidates have not been prepped for. It is completely off the cuff. That's what their answer will be. It has arisen from viewer participation, reader participation, and even bull sessions among us journalists. And so here we go. Let's see how our candidates do with the wild card question. This time we're going to start with Mr. Peel. Mr. Peel, do you see future growth at the Burnet Municipal Airport, and should it be expanded?
I consider the airport one of our crown jewels in our crown at Burnet. It's critical to our long-term growth. And I believe it's a major asset that we have, and we do have to continue to expand it so that we continue to get traffic into that airport. But it's a major asset, yes.
And Ms. Devaney, I'll toss the same question to you. Do you see future growth at the Burnet Municipal Airport, and should it be expanded?
Yes, I do. The Burnet Airport is a great asset, and with a bigger expansion, longer runway, we can bring in more industry, maybe some commuter flights, have more businesses come in. A lot of your big industries do have, corporate or higher CEOs that may not live here per se, but they do have businesses elsewhere, and they will be coming in and out. So I think a bigger airport improvement will be good.
Good. Thank you for your response. Thank you, viewers, for watching. This has been Tribune Talk with Thomas Edwards, Candidates Edition. Today, we've taken a look at the Burnet City Council race. It's a very crowded race. I want to thank our two guests, candidates Michelle Devaney and Carl Peel. Very nice of them to be here. We hope you'll go out and vote on May 14th, exercise your right. Thank you very much for being with us.